everybody. I'm Melissa McKay, a developer advocate with JFrog, and I have the pleasure of speaking with Daniel O today here at JFocus 2023. So Daniel, tell us what brings you to Stockholm.
Yeah, thanks for having me. First of all, I'm super happy to be here at JFocus. It's my first time at Stockholm. I'm from Boston in the United States. And then the first time, actually not first time in a Nordic country, is I went to Java Zone last year, like Norway, Oslo.
Oh, nice.
But the first time in Stockholm and Sweden. And so I'm super happy to be here again. And then thanks for having me. And then I am working for Red Hat as a developer advocate. Specialized, of course, Java, and then a bunch of the cloud-native technologies. For example, Kubernetes, and then service mesh, and serverless, and then a bunch of the GitOps practice. So my mission goal, how to bring more Java developer and Java workload on top of the Kubernetes and the cloud-native technology. So that's maybe I'm part of this here, and then I'm super happy to be here again. Yeah.
Awesome. This is huge. I think you have a lot to offer this community because it can be pretty overwhelming, right, for developers to learn all of this stuff. What is your talk here about?
Thanks for shouting out. So I actually ran the hands-on workshop yesterday with the some Amazon folks. It's a little bit about how to developing your Java application on Amazon Lambda for Serverless. It's not only standalone application, but also how to connect to your NoSQL database on Amazon Lambda.
Okay.
But one of the interesting, the workshop went pretty well. But one of the interesting part of the workshop, we figured out most people actually don't have any experience to cloud, which means the normal Java developer just working their application stuff on their local machine, like a desktop, laptop, rather than deploy to cloud. And even if after the pandemic, a lot of people care about cloud technology, but there's still almost zero experience to how to bring their application to cloud.
Yes.
And then this afternoon, I got one breakout session around how to become yourself as a superhero for cloud-native Java application. So because everybody have a lot of experience to develop your Microservices application on your local machine with like a Java technology for the more than 10 years. However, so since Kubernetes came out, how to make your application like say Kubernetes native Java application. That's my talk. I'm not going to showcase boring slide deck. It's a pretty much heavy demo-driven talk. I'm going to showcasing like a live coding and a live demo for 15 minutes.
Nice.
So if you see around the JFocus today, feel free to stop by my talk and then give us some idea and feedback, good and bad feedback. It will be helpful for me to make a better talk for the next Java conferences. Yeah.
Yes, that is so important. When you go to conferences and you hear speakers, it's really important to get that feedback so that we can improve and better, make developers' lives a little bit easier.
Sure. That is my mission. Yeah.
So there is a lot for developers to learn.
Yeah.
And I know in my own experience, there's also a lot of things you can do wrong. That you might configure something incorrectly, or maybe include a secret when you shouldn't include a secret, especially when dealing with Kubernetes. What would you suggest for a developer to do to learn? Like step one, you said a lot of developers don't have a lot of experience, so it's pretty overwhelming. Where should they start?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So previously, developer needed to handle everything from application, business logic, but also like a security or some automation and all configuration they have to do by yourself in the application side, regardless of Java, .NET, or Python. That is the main responsibility of a developer. However, things change a lot. So developer maybe delegate that kind of thing to like some platform, like a Kubernetes or some kind of public cloud, as much as possible. So for example, security perspective, when you develop and deploy application to Kubernetes, Kubernetes provides the kind of security capability using Kubernetes config map or secret, which means that you can directly access that Kubernetes resources to manage security And also, there are many, like for example, JFrog provide a bunch of security capability on top of the Kubernetes, add
Yes.
like some customer resources, which means the developer try to use that kind of resources for maintain security credential rather than store on your application side. That is already first step, how to get starting, make your application more cloud-native application. There are many kinds of stuff. Maybe you can go to CNCF landscape, specifically like some use cases, for example, security or observability, and then monitoring or serverless service mesh. There are many recommended tools, not only open source tool, but also like some vendors, like a solution and product. You can
Right.
get started with that, and then you're then more than happy to reach out to some expert like me and a JFrog, like a Excel or the other developer advocate, and then they will give you some like a free online course how to get starting, and then what kind of tool you're gonna pick it up
Yeah.
for your next journey to develop your more cloud-native application.
Nice. Yeah, there's a ton of different tools to choose from, so
Yeah,
that can also be
more
overwhelming
than
too.
100. It's maybe too hard to make a choice at
Right.
this moment.
Right.
That's you need to find some right person.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like Daniel.
yeah, that'll be great. And then how to get starting, and then like some quick start and a jump start, and then like an easy peasy learning experience as well.
Yes. One of the advantages I know of JFrog products is we integrate with a lot of these tools, and it's important to find, how to, what's going to work best for your team, right? Given the skill sets and given, what the team is going to need to learn.
Yep.
It's important that all of the tools that you're using, they're going to fit together nicely. I am actually part of the CD Foundation. It's a sister to the CNCF Foundation. It's kind of lesser known.
That's awesome.
And this is something we talk about a lot, is interoperability
Yeah.
between all of these products and all of these tools.
Yeah.
Making sure that we communicate effectively between them, and that maybe in the future, I'm hoping that integrations don't need to be so tightly, coupled, in order to avoid a lot of that glue code that you need to write in order to put all of these pieces and parts together. But it sure is helpful to have someone experienced like yourself to reach out to, just to get a start, because like you said, there's even on the CNCF landscape, there's a ton to choose from.
Yep.
And so definitely reach out and get a working path to start with.
Yeah, that should be great. One thing I want to share, I mean, I'm also the CNCP ambassador, and then we have launched a new CNCP ambassador version 2.
Nice.
So officially all current CNCF ambassador will be retired in the middle of February, and then we gotta pick more new CNCF ambassador, because we gotta give some more opportunity for out there people. They maybe got some benefit how to evangelize the cloud-native tools and project, etc.
Right.
And then as a part of the CNCF, also the CD. So I want to say the traditionally developers' role just only focus on inner loop development, just writing code and build, deploy, that's it. And then once you push your code in the GitHub repository, that's it. No more work. And that's my responsibility. Right. However, it's a keep growing developers' capability, which means you might need to care about out-of-loop development process as well.
Yes.
Which means how to bring your application into production. In the end, your application gets some value as a business services, which means you need to make sure and then verify your functionality, capability, and business logic in your production environment sometimes. So how to make it do that, because you need to care about the continuous delivery or continuous integration as a part of your day job.
Yep.
But it's some kind of big burden for individual developer. That's why the CD project and CD community bring that kind of burden. Just get rid of your shoulder and then give it some more nice tool, and then integrate your like a local development tool, like your IDE or your CDI or the other stuff, and then it make you easier and quicker get starting your CI/CD experience as a developer tools and environment. So I'm really encourage the individual developer to get starting like a CI/CD or CD experience from their local to the like a cloud environment. That is super important. In the end, you got some more capability to get more good salary and a good job.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
a lot of people are actually looking forward to that kind of stuff. How to make me more valuable in the IT market.
Yep.
So that's one of a good short paths to make you a more valuable person.
Uh-huh. I would think a good place to start doing that is like maybe developing a test environment, right?
Yep.
And being able to deploy to your test environment in the same way that you would deploy to your production environment.
Yep.
That's something that I've seen teams struggle with in the past because if it's too different, you might have this application that you've developed specifically for a test environment, and then you get some surprises when you try to deploy later.
Yep.
So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. What would you recommend? Let's talk about like a junior developer to
Yep.
begin. You said start out with just learning CI/CD, basically continuous integration, being able to maybe deploy to your local environment or your development environment. What size of team would you need to have in order to accomplish all these things?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't want to say like just some like a picture, like a 12 or 6, something like some
Yeah.
along with the agile methodology and practice stuff. But I want to more say, so junior developer, they need to a little bit more think about like automation stuff. Yeah,
Right.
not only just writing code. It's of course it's really important to pick which program language you want to use. So I got some chance to have some conversation with a college student in some developer conference, and many college students just reach out to me, ask, "Hey Daniel, what kind of program language I need to learn to get more like a more good job
Yes.
after graduation?" Yeah, probably I would say I'm Java guy. Maybe you're gonna learn some Java stuff, and they say, "Oh no, that's kind of old." School fashion like my daddy stuff 20 years ago, but you know also Java still growing and keep evolving, and then there are huge potential and possibility integrate the existing technology, but also new advanced cloud technology like AI, ML, or Edge, or like 5G, etc.
Great.
But a lot of junior developers really looking into data scientists, which means they're really keen to learn something Python or the other stuff. However, they needed to more consider about uh, how to like, avoid some technology gap between local and dev environment and then in the end the production environment. So which
Right.
means they need to find what kind of automation tool remove the kind of burden. For example, so my local environment is only focused on in-memory database or like just skip it all security issue or like some data store thing. Because I just store a very simple hello world application and then I just verify my application totally working. I'm so confident.
Right.
However, when you deploy your application to production or even staging, and then there are a bunch of integration tests and then like a security and then the functional check, even performance tests. But you cannot guarantee that kind of test is totally working on your production because you never ever done that before on your local machine.
Exactly.
However, if you could verify that kind of stuff, maybe not 100%, but maybe sort of like a 70 or 75% with some like a rehearsal, but some tests with some automation tool. You
Right.
just trigger that testing tool and then make that happen. Even not happening that testing tool on your local machine, maybe somewhere out there, you just trigger and then that test tool somewhere out there, cloud environment, just kicking off that testing and then give us some feedback. Oh, you were 100% passed or 75% passed, 25% fail because you need to add some kind of security breach on your application side. So that's why, that's the thing, a junior developer keep learning something, how to make your application quality more good, better
Yeah.
with some automation tool, and then what kind of tool actually you can integrate in your local development environment. So that's why it's a really super important thing. It's not
Yeah.
about the language platform. It's more like automation and the platform experience. 'Cause that's why people say, so maybe you want to be like a full stack developer or
Right.
like even platform engineer or whatever they call that, but you need to learn holistic platform view rather than just only application side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
So something that you've said and something I repeat over and over again too is just the fact that when you're a junior, when you're first starting out on a team,
Yeah.
don't think you're alone. You've got other team members.
Sure.
There should be, senior
Yeah.
levels that you can talk to, principal levels you can talk to, and also reach out to community. There's
Yeah.
lots of resources in the
That
community as well. And as far as the size of a team, not one person is going to know everything. That's the point of the team, right? Is you use
that's
each
super
other's
important. Yeah.
expertise.
Yeah, can agree more. So that is the beauty of open source community. Yeah,
Yes.
don't be afraid to like create a pull request. Sometimes that it totally not make sense, but no worries. It's whenever you got some feel this is something wrong. Yeah, don't be afraid to make some issue or a pull request. Everybody want to hear your voice and then try to figure out what kind of problem is there, and then in the meantime, you got to learn something more and then how to
Yep.
contribute back to community rather than just using that project or that tool. And then getting started with some small group like a 3 and 5 for the as a junior developer and then one mentoring, one senior developer. It make you better and then from the developer experience in the end.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it was great chatting with you. I'm really looking forward to hearing how your talk goes later.
Sure,
I
yeah.
think you are in a perfect space right now with so many developers learning all of this for the first time, learning
so
how to
excited,
get their
yeah.
apps into the cloud.
Yep.
So really looking forward to that.
Sure, yeah, thanks for having me once again, and everybody enjoying like JFocus as well as if you are still here, and then just feel free to reach out to me and the JFrog booth as well, and then yeah, enjoy the rest of the JFocus. Thanks again.
Thanks.